intrinsic value of an exhibition like that. An awful lot of people come to see photographic exhibitions, much more than other kinds of exhibitions that we hold. Can I welcome Kerry, Lisa, Finola, Stephen, Dennis, Deborah? Good, everybody? Yeah. All the photographers, good. And I also want to welcome Paula, tutor for the project, and Breeding Murphy from the Wexford Education and Training Board. So I'll hand over to Paula.
Thanks, Jarrett. I haven't really a huge amount to say because Stephen is going to speak on behalf of the group. But I just want to say congratulations to the group because they just keep pulling it out of the bag every single time. Like so much over the last couple of years and the way things have been, the limitations that we've come across. But they've produced a fabulous calendar, and not only that, but this fabulous black and white exhibition as well. At last, we get to put it out there because it's been a long way to have this exhibition. And as Jared has said, we've Finola, Lisa, Kerry, Stephen, Deborah, and Dennis. There you are. Yeah, I'm very, very proud of you. Your work is just fantastic. It's just going from strength to strength, and you're just an amazing group. And I'm so happy that I work with you. So I'm going to pass you over to Stephen, who is going to speak.
Thank you, Paula.
Thanks, Stephen.
My speech isn't short. So on behalf of the group, who's already been mentioned, just like to say we are delighted to be here. This is our third exhibition in this library. We had a book launch, we had the calendar launch, and now the black and white exhibition. And thanks to everybody who was mentioned and the support of the group, ETB as well as the library. But as a group of photographers, we should also think of other people who support us, like our family, friends, partners, and they support us in different ways. As you will see, if you haven't already seen the photographs, and I'll just use, for example, Kerry's children, who I'm sure Kerry had to get them to jump up and down 10 times to get that photograph. And another one comes to mind where the person who I'm going to talk about, you'll know about in a minute because they laugh. To get the photograph, it's not in the exhibition. They went into the tool shed at home and got out steel wool belonging to their husband. Went into the kitchen drawer and got a hand whisk for mixing food, a lump of string, and then had their husband standing out in the cold, twirling this lighted piece of steel wool to get an effect of a light turning. That's the type of supports. You know, we have Lisa, who has her children also. I think about 10 times one of the girls cycled by to get the effect. So, you know, you have to remember these people. But the photographs you're seeing out there, whilst there might be a snippet in time and lovely to look back on, we also have to remember that there's an awful lot of work goes into, for us anyway, remembering ISOs, shutter speed, aperture, and then we have to think of the rule of thirds, where's the horizon, what way is the light, all of that. And somewhere in that, we have to think of spontaneity as well. So what you're looking at is a product of all of that, and the subject matter is kind of an insight into the photographers here. So Ansel Adams, I looked up, a famous photographer called Ansel Adams said, there are two people in every photograph. Now when you look at those photographs, you're going to say, there's not some of those have no people in it. But he said there's two people, the photographer and the viewer. And what he meant by the photographer is you're going to see a piece of that person's personality. Their likes or dislikes, what they are interested in their photographs. You'll see landscapes, portraits, abstracts, And you can sometimes see a trend with the different people. Personally, I like landscapes and figures, curves and shapes. And we say Kerry, our children, Lisa, her children, Deborah, grandchildren, and as well as nature. So you get a little insight into the person, just enough. We don't want to tell you too much about ourselves, you know, but you get an idea of our interests as well. The other thing I want to say is the the influences that we have on other people. And again, even as a group, we don't think about it. On a personal level, my own partner, Maria, my interest in photography has reignited hers from years back. But there's an influence we don't see, and I saw it a couple of weeks ago. And if you just bear with me for a moment and think, if anybody knows Bridgetown, where we hold our classes is in the AOH hall. It's right on the edge of the village. Right opposite it is the health centre. The doctor sits there. And right beside it is a garage and a shop. And I saw what I think is an influence. And to draw the picture for you, there's children waiting for their parents in the car, or the parents are in the shop, or whatever. And the parent comes out and the child says, "Mommy, Daddy, what's that hall there?" And the parent said, "That's the AOH hall." And we're talking about a child 5, 6, 7 years old, so we have to keep it a little bit simpler for them. The AOH hall, it's a community hall. There's a little library in it. There's citizens' advice. There's classes go on in it, art classes, and there's photography classes. And that child is looking over at the hall and wants to become a photographer, not because of what the parents said, but because through the child's eyes, what they saw was 3 ladies just outside the hall, not on the road, in the concrete area, blowing a windmill. 3 adult women blowing a windmill, like children stick out a car a windmill. And that child sees that. 1 or 2 of them have cameras. And over on the right-hand side are 2 gentlemen of mature years. One of them is there. Nowhere the other. And they're blowing bubbles with a camera. Now, whatever that child sees through its eyes, it now wants to be a photographer because it can blow windmills and blow bubbles. So we have an indirect influence on people. So I'm near the end now, but a lot of people have been thanked. And what we must remember also is there's 6 of us in the group. We don't turn up on a Monday morning and sit down and wonder, what do we do today? Because if it was left to us, there'd be a lot of tea drinking and talking about it. But in comes somebody to tell us what to do. Well, not tell us, probably too strong a word. To influence us. A professional photographer. Someone with qualifications, with experience. And I was trying to think of another word, applicable. And for me, it's somebody with patience. Paula Malone Carthy. Could we have a little... So, whilst there's 6 of us photographers in that exhibition, there's another person, Paula, who's helped us bring it. And we want to thank them for that much. That's all. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Stephen. Well done with your speech, and yeah, very good, very entertaining. So just one round of thank yous. I want to just thank the library here, particularly to Jarlath and to Mary and Shane, who have been bent over backwards to help us put to have the exhibition here and help us in any way and listen to any questions that we had and sorted all our little issues out that we had. So So thank you so much. We're delighted to be here, and it's a fabulous venue to have an exhibition as well. And it's here for 2 weeks, so if you want to let your family and friends know that they're welcome to come in and view it at any time over the next couple of weeks. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to the lady who's going to launch the exhibition. And we have Bridgetown, who is the community education facilitator here in Wexford. And it's Bridgetown's co that fund us for the exhibition and for our classes. So
thanks very much. I think, Stephen, I might take you and use you for community education launches from now on. It's exactly what community education is. It's the idea that we're informal learning. You know, you don't get a cert at the end of it, but what you do is you catch people and you get their attention and you get the passion and you get the community, because that's what community education is all about. So it's about that child looking at this building. You know, so they see a community hall, and what does that mean to anybody? But they see the people using the hall, they see a community of practice in a hall, they see the blowing bubbles and the blowing the windmills, and then they want to do something. So that's about creating society, because that's what community education at its core is what it's all about. We're informal learning. But sometimes I think people think we're not as important because it's not about making money, which is what so much of the world is about. It's not about getting jobs, you know, at the maybe eventually, but what we are about is about creating a sense of space and a sense of community. And I think Hot Shots has done that just amazingly. You know, this is my second time coming to a launch. I was here for the calendar, which 2,500 was raised for the hospice.
Yeah.
Like, that's amazing money, but it's not just the money, it's the awareness that you rose for the hospice and for the needs of the hospice. And also the creation of something so amazing during lockdown, that you stayed together as a group, as a community. And to think that this exhibition, you know, we've been waiting since 2020, but you're still all here, you're still together, you're still working towards a goal. I know this year it's a little bit different with the QQI, that persuasion of Paula has come into place there, and we are very excited about that. And that's another step, you know, and maybe next year you'll come back and do something totally different, or maybe you will want to go in and do something more in WWE TV. But I'm really, really proud to kind of sit here and look at the exhibition and see what's going on. But really it's to listen to you, Stephen, there, just saying what it's all about, because that to me is what community education is. So thanks so much, I really appreciate the words there. So it's really my privilege, and I thank you so much to have me here to launch it. We love working with the community groups. We're crazy about Hot Shots. It's you're in our newsletter, our WWTV newsletter this month. Paula, I don't know if you know that. There's a lovely picture of your hospice launch. So it's really great, and I'm really delighted that we're in the library, because I think so many people come into the library and they're able to see now, and hopefully lots of your friends and family will come in and, you know, let people know about us and about what we do. There's so many options now in WWTV, so we're really proud of what we do as well. So congratulations to Paula, congratulations to all the group. I look forward to hopefully working with you next year. I don't know, maybe you're fed up of us, it could be. But I'm really, really proud to officially launch the Life in Monochrome. Well done, congratulations.
Well, thank you, Brigitte, Paula and Stephen. I was just looking at the photographs earlier on, and they were all really, really wonderful. One or two stood out for me, and one was risking equilibrium. That's a tongue twister, and that was Lisa's one, I think. And the other one was the photograph of the late Larry Brown, who I knew quite well, and poignant, but it's a lovely photograph. Okay, so I won't delay you. While I have a captive audience, can I just mention a few things that are coming up that you might be interested in? Oh, in relation to the exhibition, do tell friends, acquaintances, anyone about the exhibition to come in, and it's here for 2 weeks. So give a chance for everybody to see it. Okay, we have a few events coming up. I have handouts for this, by the way. You don't have to remember dates or anything like that. On Tuesday next, the 10th, we have Fiona Connolly, who's the Environmental Awareness Officer in Wexford County Council, and she's talking about waste prevention. That's a morning one. Our morning sessions are at 11 o'clock. And then we have a group called the Science Cafe organise science-related events. And don't be put off by this, but the speaker is Amy Hassett. Some of you may know her. She's from County Wexford. and she's an expert on neuroscience. She's a great communicator. She works for RT as well and makes programs, so that's that day. And then we have a series of parenting talks, one on positive parenting on the 12th. One that should really be interesting to people is Barry Lacey. He's our historian in residence, and he'll be talking about the general election in 1922. So that should be interesting for County Wexford. Then we have a talk on the 19th on what is opera, and then Margaret Galvin, who some of you may know, she's a poet, and she'll be doing a workshop here on Thursday the 26th. Any of these events, I have handouts, but they're always on wexford.ie. You can check them out. They're put up a month ahead. And there are lots of other things on that website that might be of interest to you as well. I won't go into them now, but I just have a look for service. Okay, thank you.